3 or 4 years ago, my daughter expressed the smallest interest in learning how to play guitar, and I, being a guitar builder, got all giddy inside and went over to Crimson headquarters, grabbed a prototype Stratocaster kit, and I built her a guitar. Burn it. Haha, yay! Fast forward 3 or 4 years, and the instrument is sitting in a corner of her bedroom, gathering dust. Yesterday, I went in there and I said, "Sweetheart, we have to talk." 3 words that nobody really wants to hear. And she's like, "What's wrong, Daddy?" And I was like, "Why aren't you playing this guitar?" And I picked it up, and I realized why. And it is so heavy. It is heavy. And, well, should we take a drill to it? I think we should. For many, many years and years and years since the new MacBook came out, Mac, whatever, this thing, I wanted to do this to a guitar. Let's do that, shall we? Now, this episode is sponsored by Skillshare. Thank you very much to them. We will talk about that later on in the video. For now, though, I need to get a scale. I need to get an accurate scale. Before we move on to the scales, here's what this guitar currently looks like. First of all, the scratch plate is split, which doesn't really surprise me. That's Boy and Burl and difficult to glue. I experimented with some grain filler and I didn't bother taking the whole guitar apart, so it's got some copper grain filler, and I need to fix that, don't I? But yeah, it's just dusty. This process is going to be taking this instrument, and we'll see how much material I can remove, what effect that has on the sound, and most importantly, see if I can make this an instrument that is going to be playable for my daughter. Onwards. 4.666. 10 pounds and 4 ounces. Yep, that is most assuredly too heavy. She was 9 when I built it for her, so, yeah. I should have thought about that a little bit more, shouldn't I? Huh, still in tune. Okay, hold on. Let's get this properly tuned. These are 3-year-old strings, after all. And it hasn't been played for a while. We've got an intermittent fault somewhere in the electronics, which is interesting. But yeah, we'll get to that. We also have a dusty guitar. Alright, I'm not going to change any of the settings on the amp in between now and the final guitar. We've got some good sustain. You guys time this. Come on then. There we go. It's still just going, but there's about 15 seconds of sustain there. Oh, I keep on hitting this damn volume control. Well, there we go. Guitarist, I am not. Guitar builder, I am. Let's remove some weight. Let's remove a lot of weight. I am also aware that changing the strings is going to make a difference to the sound, but I have to do that as well. So, as ever, with tone and wood and construction and all that jazz, it is part of a recipe. There is no one thing that is the be-all, end-all, apart from the pickups, of course. There we go. So, Isotunes, Crimson 10 to get 10% off. Check it out. Now, I'm going to do some work on the frets. They just need a light polish, and obviously the fretboard is nice and dry and requires some cleaner and restorative. But let's get this body taken apart, shall we? There with it. This wiring really sucks. This the loom came off a baritone Telecaster that I built 10 years ago, probably more. And this was a quick. This kit was actually put together at a guitar show live, if I recall. And yeah, we just grabbed some stuff together and did it. But that's not good enough. Let's, that's going to require a little bit of redoing, shall we say. This is turning into a bit more of a project than I thought. House of Tone, bridge pickup, fantastic. No shielding inside the cavities, less fantastic. Poopy soldering, poop. Okay, so I'm going to drill a few holes in this instrument. We'll go to the scratch plate later on in this process. Smaller holes means I'm going to be able to get closer to the edge, but I want a regular pattern throughout as much of the guitar as possible. Let's see. Let us see. Break out the rulers, people. While I think about this, let's talk about Skillshare. Skillshare is just amazing. I am a huge fan of it. My entire life is built on online learning, and I love learning, and Skillshare is the perfect platform. No ads and thousands of inspiring and inspired classes on topics ranging from creating books to creating websites to creating art to learning how to code. There is something, well, that's understating it. There's more than something. There are many things for each individual person out there. Now, just one of the classes that I've taken over the last a couple of months has been by Ellen Lupton from the Smithsonian, and it is about poster design. It's called Demystifying Graphic Design, How Posters Work. It is amazing how I can take something from a museum and then apply it directly to my life and to my business. And it's not just posters, it is book covers, it is website design. And if you find yourself interested in any subject, there is a very, very good chance that you will find a way to learn about it on Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to click on the link below will get 1 free month of Skillshare. Can't say no to that. I would like you to support Skillshare, to thank them for supporting me. At the very least, I would like you to go and check it out because you will be hooked. I'm sure of it.
So the Mac Pro has holes going through from the top and then 3 smaller ones coming in from behind, and I don't want to do that. And I also want to make absolutely certain that by hand I line everything up properly. So I'm thinking about drilling all the way through with a small drill bit, 3mm, to give myself the 3 to then line up across the board. And then I'm just going to have a single hole coming from the other side that goes halfway up through the wood and meets in the middle again. So on this side, I'll have the 3mm coming up in there. And we end up with 3 holes with 1 coming up from behind. 3 holes with 1 coming up from behind. And on the back, those will line up all nicely as well, if it works. Let's go and drill some holes, shall we? That's not bad. Back to the other drill bit. Okay, so we've got, yeah, as long as everything is drilled accurately, that's looking pretty good. Now these ones, and I can mark everything out from the front. Thus I know, hopefully, in the end, that everything's going to work out as planned. Of course, we're doing 30s, aren't we? That's easy. So it's these 2 lines that I need to do. It worked. We've got smaller holes that don't look as attractive, but we've got a very 3D, very cool look going on, which is matching what I had in my mind. So the next thing we need to do is figure out what to do about these other little holes inside. I was thinking countersink, and let's see what that looks like first. There we go. That's just, it might look okay. So that's one option, we just countersink everything. The other is this. Which is removing even more material. Oh no, that just chipped out there. Now you see I've got a chip there, that's not good. Instead of going bigger, I'm going to do the opposite. The initial pilot hole is going to be much smaller. My daughter, as well as not liking heavy guitars,
Well, she doesn't really need a purple finish. If I started with a rectangular blank, I could drill all of these holes and then go after the fact and carefully route out pickup cavities, very carefully route out pickup cavities. In this case, however, I can't, I'm going to run into issues around about the pickups where I'm just going to go off-piste. So as much as I would like to make the entire instrument this, I'm going to have to concentrate on the upper bout here and leave everything else. I could do around here, but then it would look weird because one, it's underneath a scratch plate, and two, from the back you'd have a bit and then nothing. So we're going part way with this guitar. Still, onwards to some drilling. No, to some layout. Give me masking tape. Yeah. Center line. That lines up nicely. That's your 60, and that lines up nicely. Fantastic. There we go. So that's going to work out quite nicely, if you can even see what I'm talking about here. Now, some of these were going to be far too close to the edge, and remember that's where your forearm goes. So I've left a nice smooth area there. That's saying absolutely don't drill that hole. Yeah, that works out quite nicely. Now, what I've realized is that while I do have to, for accuracy, I have to drill all the way through from the front, I don't have to drill all the way through from the back with my small pilot drill, which means, woohoo, it's going to look better from the front. So that's quite cool. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is drill all of these holes with the Forstner bit after using a center punch or something, and then once those are drilled, I will use the hole left by the Forstner bit to then drill with a thin or a small drill bit all the way through. That will mean that the drill bit has got less, it's going to be less likely for that to go off-piste. Moment of no return, really. Okay. So, there you are. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Thanks for asking. It's yeah, having fun, chilling in the workshop. Just had a cup of tea. It's later in the afternoon. If I drill 3/4 of the way down to the back and then drill from the back 3/4 of the way up, I'm going to end up with a lot more removed. And as long as I can keep the drill bit going where it's supposed to go, which should be possible, we'll end up with an even better result. Come on then. Ha ha! Yes. Okay, so let's reset the depth stop. And I'm going to take off even more material. It's just going to look so much cooler, that's the thing. That's the one. Okay, cool. I don't have anything soft on the pillar drill, or drill press, whatever you want to call it. I am going to be sanding the outside of this in any way, shape or form. I'm going to be sanding it down. And I'm also drilling at a very, very, very low speed. There is just no requirement for goggles. Slow. And scary. Slow and scary. That feels so much deeper than I want to go, but it's got a depth stop. Got it? We're in that. Okay, come on now. All right, so of course, I don't want to drill through into this. So yeah, that's gonna take, I'm gonna have to change the depth. So I'm gonna drill most of them where I've got a flat back, and then we will see. Well, here we are. I added a few extra bits, but we're coming there. It's a lot easier to do these things with a pillar drill, and it's a lot easier to do it with a CNC machine. But pretty accurate, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to now drill using the holes left by the Forstner bit as a marker, and I'm going to drill through with a 2mm drill, something like that. Well, that went very, very well, I think. Well, that went very, very well. So essentially, we want to meet in kind of the middle. So we got 1, 2, 3, bang through the middle of those 3. Practice runs are always very, very important. Not quite to scale, but it's going to give me an idea of what I'm going for. I probably should have just drawn this out properly on a bit of paper before even starting. But that would be the intelligent way, wouldn't it? Actually, it does look pretty close. So we want to go in the middle, in the middle, in the middle, and then that's what we're after. That's 11mm off the edge. It really is. And then 30 more. So given that I've got those holes, I just need to do this. I could, of course, also use a compass and have some intersecting lines like that.
Well, in fact, I'm going to. That's how I'm going to do it. There we go. And that should be exactly 30 millimeters apart. And it is. On we go. Now, the last thing I want to do is drill into the wrong hole, and I don't have masking tape there. Bring on the Sharpie. So I've started my line, and essentially, these are the ones I'm going to be drilling out. With a lot of marking to do. Woohoo! I think I've marked them all out. I might need to add a few after the fact, but back to the pillar drill. Woohoo! I've said woohoo a few times today. The day's nearly over, but I want to get these drilled first, I really do. So those can't go too deep. So that's the depth just for those ones. So depth stop set. And absolutely set. And that will be those few holes there just where the forearm carve is. Let's go. So once I've actually gone into the holes coming from the other side, at that point I can see how deep I've come either way, and I can adjust. And yeah, with these ones in the calves, it's a little bit more difficult. But I can do more, so I can actually do more from both sides at this point. Onwards. So. So what I'm doing here is eyeballing how much I need to do and then measuring it on the depth stop gauge so that I can say, hey, I think I need to take an extra 5 millimeters off, do it on there, and I don't need to change the depth stop every single time. And well, people, I happen to be in love with this. I'm not sure if she's going to get this guitar back. All right, so now I've drilled out from the back as deep as I want to go, and I was a little bit tentative going from the front, so let's remove a little bit more material. This thing is really getting there. There's going to be no problem with neck dive, I don't think. Those go-to locking tuners are a little bit heavy, but yeah, onwards. I can't find my dust mask. Haven't got a clue. Good thing we got these things in our pockets, isn't it? All right. Done. You. I'll do. Ouch. So that's the first time anything's gone wrong, and I'm like 99% there. But you actually can't even see. It ripped a little bit internally. So yeah, from either side, it's invisible. Woohoo!
Yeah, that puckered the old proverbials just a little bit. So when you get to the end, you relax. That stuff goes wrong. Anyway, let's get there. So, I've nearly dropped my ice tunes there. I know how much material I have taken out of this guitar so far. And I still have a scratch plate underneath which I can drill out another chunk of material. I am so happy with how this is looking that I am not going to do what I had planned, and this is not going to be a one video or one and done thing. It's going to be a two-parter because this deserves a little bit more thought and a cool finish. In the comments, I want you to have a guess at how much weight I have taken out up to this stage. Well, if somebody's spot on, I will prizes all round. I'll give discounts at crimsonguitars.com or something like that. But well, let's have a look at some B-roll and come back. This is a Saturday video. Come back on Wednesday for the second part of this, second and final part, where the guitar will have a new finish. We're not after purple and blue anymore. And I will put it all together and we will see where we end up. She started out over 10 pounds. Let's see where we end. Thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe if you have not yet. At the very least, you have to come back and watch the next episode of this. We have got a super edit of Nebula coming soon too, so that's well worth checking out. See you guys. Oh, and of course, you kind of need to tell me what you think of the look. Now, if anybody wants a guitar built like this from scratch on purpose, it's something I can do. Strats, Teddys, Les Pauls, etc. It's something we can do at Crimson, and we could even potentially offer it as a kit option. But don't hold me to that last one. Anyway, is that not incredibly cool?